5 risks of being unethical. Recent academic publications have been flourishing with novel ethical principles and frameworks. This provided us with a blueprint for ethics. However, the transition from what ethics are to how to do ethics is needed. Today we will show you 5 real-life examples of malpracticing ethics. Let us now begin. In July 2020, the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, was called in front of the US Congress to testify about Facebook's actions. Facebook faced an allegation about copying other businesses in order for Facebook to stay dominant. Internal email communication got leaked where Mark said, and quote, "Being more aggressive and copying others prevents our competitors from getting footholds." When asked to defend Facebook, Mark replied with 2 arguments. 1. Others copied us as well. Eye for an eye. 2. We did it for our user comfort. Utilitaristic action. What Mark did was called ethics shopping. He retrospectively defended Facebook's action by nitpicking and shopping from a variety of ethical theories. Second example takes us to Starbucks. Ever been to Starbucks and wonder why their coffee is so expensive? Starbucks justify their prices by stating that their coffee is ethically produced. They sell you an idea that by buying their overpriced espresso, you support local farmers all around the globe. Unfortunately, the reality is different. There have been numerous cases of exploitation of poor countries. Starbucks plantation workers were forced to work 17 hours per day. Starbucks not having increased the workers' salaries for 20 years despite Starbucks getting richer and richer. Or even in some extreme cases, Starbucks employing children as young as 8 years old. This is called ethics bluewashing. The malpractice of misleading ethical claims about one's product or services in order to appear more ethical than one is.
Our third example is digital ethical lobbying, which is very similar to general lobbying, where companies influence the decision-making of governments, whether it's to advance or stop various rules and regulations. In this case, Google, Microsoft, and various other companies lobby against GDPR-style regulations. This is to weaken national data privacy laws that they would have drafted themselves. One example is the California Consumer Privacy Act of 2018, also called CCPA, which was passed to change how companies gather and monetize their consumer data in the state of California. This was heavily contested against by these companies to stop possible transparency in third-party data sharing. Specifically, digital ethics lobbying is a malpractice of exploiting digital ethics to revise, replace, and avoid legislations about the design, development, and deployment of digital processes, services, and products. Self-regulation and enforcement could be a good solution against this malpractice. Next is ethics dumping. Imagine being a company that wants to build a face detecting algorithm. You are based in the EU, but the EU has strict regulations against using personal data. So you move your development to countries that have weaker ethical and legal frameworks. In this case, India, which you can then pull on local personal data to train and develop your algorithms. Once you have the data, you can import the algorithms into the EU with no penalties and make money selling or using these algorithms freely in Europe. In more specific terms, ethical dumping is the process of exporting research activities about digital services and products that would be unethical in a certain space, and importing the outcome of the unethical research activities back into the space. This could be fixed if more focus was put on both the ethics of the research and the ethics of the consumption. The last risk of being unethical is ethical shirking. For example, in 1968, the Vienna Convention on Road Traffic, an international principle, was created, requiring that a driver is always fully in control and responsible for the behavior of a vehicle in traffic. The US not being a part of that means that state vehicle codes do not prohibit automated vehicles. If you are a company working on self-driving cars, then moving to the US is the best decision, as it means you don't have to put in the extra ethical effort that EU laws will require. In more precise terms, it is the practice of doing increasingly less ethical work in a given context. The lower the return of such ethical work in that context is mistakenly perceived to be. This will most likely happen where there are disadvantaged populations, weaker institutions, and actors will be tempted when they think they can relocate responsibilities elsewhere. And so, those are our 5 digital ethical malpractices. We hope you enjoyed and now know of the various ways that companies and actors can be digitally unethical. Thank you.